Uncle Jiraiya versus Itachi. So let me put it this way. These are two people in my life who really had negative examples of how to teach me things, but both had somewhat of good intentions. They both kept secrets from me, but one was a little bit more admirable than the other. So let me explain. So what is this beef between them? Why did they both lead me on a different paths in life? Why did one try to comfort me, and why did the other person give me the real up front, but the real in only one context? So I'll put it like this. Uncle Jiraiya would be the type of person to tell me I look like shit in a realistic fashion, but that's after I already got validation from people of my generation. But it is constructive criticism, but at the same time, you have to realize this. There's more than one option. My brother led me through astray thinking that I don't have to face competition, saying that I'm good just the way I am, saying that literally, oh, you can do what half the people at my college can't do. Literally, you have a lot of potential. Don't sell yourself short. This and that. When he's lazy himself, he doesn't say example. He literally let me fall flat. He let me fall flat in the air route. He let me literally be made fun of. He knew what I needed. He knew that I needed style and facts. He knew that I didn't just come out facts alone. And Uncle Jay literally said, stay away from all that and work on your media, work on your entertainment. Literally, go out and just that. Literally, he wanted me to be a stage performer. You see, what Uncle Jay did is he saw potential in me when I was younger, and he wanted me to expand that potential. He wanted me to be a stage performer. He wanted me to do this and that. That's why he trained me so hard for a talent show. He wanted me to literally be just like the Tyler Perry films he introduced me to. And that's a really, really good thing, but that's still one-dimensional. My brother actually watches anime. He's not supporting me in terms of emotional comfort, which is what you need to be an anime fan. My brother was a school jock who played basketball, but he was very lacking in life, literally. There were so many holes in my brother. It wasn't even funny, but they weren't front-facing because he had an outstanding personality. But it fell flat when he got older because he couldn't rely on that high school shit anymore. So how did this beef start? It started off with my mom and my dad getting divorced, and literally my uncle just moves in. And so he's literally showing me nothing but Tyler Perry films. And so this starts off, babe. If you want to know more about both their characters, go watch the movie idea playlist, and you're going to see, like, literally, the truth behind Uncle Jiraiya, the truth behind anti-brother Itachi. Go watch both of those movies, and then come watch this versus battle, because this is a very important aspect. What my brother did was he let me live on my own. He's like, you know, you gotta want to get coochie eventually. You know, you gotta go out, you gotta get coordinated, you gotta literally, you gotta think common sense, man. You gotta stop living in your head, you gotta do this and that. Really fucking, you know, you gotta regret when you get older, so I'm not gonna help you when it gets to that point. I tried to get you to go out when you were younger, you didn't listen, and that is disrespectful, that is irresponsible, and you don't need to do none of that shit in order to have real friends. And I learned that when I was older, but because hip-hop is the prime example, when you're in junior high and high school, he was correct, but he wasn't at all in real life. And my uncle told me to stay away from girls, yet chase them at the same time. He told me to literally, he said that it's a good thing that I'm horny. That means I have ambition. He's 100% correct on paper. Because I'm the one who actually wants pussy is the reason why I'm going to have more drive in life, and the reason why I'm going to end up better in life. He always told me that. He's like, you're always going to be better than your brother. You're always, but he's the wrong example because he's somewhat of a shitty person yourself. Now we all have to do some dirty shit to survive. I don't hold anybody against that. That's their lives, not mine. But when you try and make somebody live what when they have a full life to live, that is very detrimental. One says, I'll let him be, and the other person says, no, I need to guide him in the right direction. So literally, but they're both wrong because Uncle Jay comes from a really bad past, but he has, you know, everybody has a good heart when they have a second chance at life, you know, so literally. So it came down to watching Tyler Perry days. There was a time when I was more obsessed with Tyler Perry than I was Ab, and literally, I was obsessed with his comedy. I watched all his fucking DVDs, and I watched all his plays. Literally, I even watched the commentary on how he comments in the movies today, and I was that obsessed with Tyler Perry. And I didn't care about the deadbeat dad part. I cared about how entertaining it was. And Tyler Perry, I'm gonna make another video on how he broke the mold for Western media, and how he literally brought a whole lot of aspects that we use today in cinema. If it wasn't for Tyler Perry, we wouldn't have a lot of mainstream things. So it got down to it, and my brother, he was trying to drug gang. He understands that people start grilling, people start, you know, raping, people start doing this, that. He thinks that Tyler Perry is a big ass joke, and my brother is in favor of my dad, but he's also, you know, in denial of who he is as a person. My brother was the type of person that corrected my Uncle Jay where it came to literally an insult, but he did correct it where it came on the situation, huh? My uncle was a little bit more responsible because because he recognized something was wrong and he did something about it, and my brother let it overflow. Even though my uncle didn't have exactly the right idea, it's still more admirable than letting things play out. So it came down to it, so he figured out that my uncle was showing me Tyler Perry, so he went up to my uncle, and he's all like, you're showing him the wrong thing. He's like, you're teaching him the wrong thing. He's all like, yeah, well, you're not teaching him anything at all. My brother was so hot when he was younger, so the story of my brother is, he was a shit when he was younger, but when we both became adults, he got this thing called social connection, where he got a whole bunch of temp jobs, he got something to do, but he wasn't admirable at all. He had a whole bunch of drunken friends that he actually made community college. Says, your brother actually had a company on paper that shut down because he was irresponsible, having drunk parties. But when you have autistic brother to compare yourself to, of course, on the outside people, your autistic brother doesn't have a job at all. Oh yeah, but he also doesn't have a criminal record. My brother got out of line in terms of real life so many fucking times, but he was always making profit on paper, and he got it to not even try. He got something that anybody can do. My brother was irreplaceable in terms of personality, but in terms of his position, he got wiped out. So my brother comes from the fact that my uncle's a special ed, which my uncle was. My uncle went to the military. He did this and that. He had a whole lot of, mental problems, but that doesn't take away the fact that he still lived a full life. That's a grown-ass man, and you're speaking down to him like he hasn't experienced anything. And you know how I know he was wrong? There was this one time, he's, I'm tired of Sonny is Uncle Jay, telling you to do chores every now. Next time he tells you to do a chore, kick him in his fucking dick. So literally, there was this time where grandma brought pizza, and so I came home, so he drove me to the side and say, I want you to call that nigga out and everything wrong about him. And so literally, he came to me and literally I was like, hey nigga, this and that. Like, yeah, that's right, give me my pizza, this and that. And so literally, he drove me to the side, he's like, I didn't mean it like that, and that's what makes him shitty as an older fucking brother. He's like, well, you didn't believe the context I was talking about. You're so retarded, you don't even know what context is. You're retarded for letting things drag on. You let him live his whole life, let him have his own assumptions for all those years, and now you want to step in. Once it overflows, you are irresponsible. My uncle was way nicer than my brother where it came to everything. If you go look back in the military days, my uncle's the one with the actual six-pack. My uncle actually put in work. My uncle put himself out there very far in his street life. So no matter what my brother does, my uncle has achieved more on paper. You have to understand that. Even though my uncle is what was his position? My uncle wasn't try-hard back in the day. He was the me when I was in high school. If I actually, got social foundation at a time where it didn't matter. What happened is he became chess champion. He learned how to get hoes. He learned how to do everything. Well, all his friends already suffered from drug problems, dead or in jail. So he was the only fucking survivor. He's still trying to report himself this entire fucking time. And my brother was a school jock. He was everything. But when he became an adult, it fell flat because literally he had to be responsible. It didn't matter how much charisma it had. Literally, it didn't matter. Just that he had to learn how to grow up and literally had to actually set an example and stop literally pretending that he's not hiding from himself. And it always made my brother jealous. Oh, my brother knows what he wants to do all out, and that's why he never fucking helped me. Because he knew I was going all out in what I did. He knew I only have to get a little bit of relief, only have to have a little bit of friends. He took advantage of the fact that I had no friends. You know what my brother did the whole time I was complaining about pussy, the whole time I was actually suicidal, the whole time I actually, was going out there, trying my hardest to be social. My brother's the one who let it escalate. The time when I was at Saba, when I was getting outside, was saying, oh, that straw hat lie easy for you. This and that. I was hitting Saba with facts. And Riz is like, Riz. So I was like, Riz, trying to get him to calm down. Now, on paper, that could be mature if the shit I wasn't saying was pure logic. You're ignoring the logic of the delivery. You came at me like you fucking eating me. That's why I had to forward color you, buddy. That's why I already exposed you. That's why this, that, and that's why literally you could not disagree with the fucking comments. That's the fucking problem with Saba's perspective. He tried hitting me with be mature, this and that. You can't claim you're just joking when you intentionally try to get somebody heated. So my brother came out with all these paper definitions. He's like, yo, shut the fuck up, stop yelling, stop arguing about uneducated shit. Literally, they're right there at your computer. You don't have to yell for everybody to fucking hear you. So literally he is so fucking retarded. All that passion, all that everything about outrageous what the fuck he's saying. And he thinks that paper definition is gonna fly. No, that's never gonna fly in real life. That can only fly if you don't tell him the full story. Because what I said was 100% educated. I came hard. I went steroids hard, so he went god hard after I already achieved steroids. That was the reality of the situation. He tried to make it seem like he was literally a mugshot versus a tadpole, when in actuality it was the exact opposite. I'm already educated from his perspective, but you know where that comes from? That's the same reason why he locked me in the room and it didn't work, because I'd rather die than get punked. So I'll put it like this. My uncle literally tried to teach me like how to control my anger, teach me how to do this and that. Like he literally told me to the side freshman year, he's like, you know what, don't shop at ink and glue, because everybody's got shop at ink and glue. And literally this and that's literally fucking, while your brother keeps on saying, he's retarded, your uncle's retarded, don't listen to our uncle. When literally, one is praising me for that ambition to go out and get pussy, and the other person, my brother, is literally saying that girls are dumb and that they have clues, they have so much more wrong for you, and he's somewhere in the future with the same fucking problem. They were both lying to themselves, and my uncle knows there's a whole lot of things that go on behind being a deadbeat dad. You know, we live in a society where a lot of people are destined to get laid, and when they finally do get laid, it's at a party, it's through the law of grade. That doesn't make them a deadbeat, that means they live life. They put themselves out there in order for it to happen, and that's bound to happen. So you gotta understand, like, there's no denying literally the backstory behind it, and that's really what was crazy about it. It really, really hurt my uncle, but literally fucking my brother isn't as comprehensive. My brother isn't the one literally making the right decisions. So my brother schools my uncle on everything besides decision making. So that's the fucking problem. He's educated, but he doesn't make educated decisions, which is why he can always correct me on talking shit, but he can never ever have a more successful career than me. That's because he doesn't take it seriously enough. He keeps it in his fucking head. You can't call somebody out and expect them not to beat your ass. Literally, my brother is a crafty motherfucker. He tries to claim that I'm the Riley when he's the Riley. He tries to say, be more like Huey. When he locked me in the room, he's all like, don't mold your way to society. Recognizes that they have it bad. Recognize that they already said fucking no. No, wrong, because you used to be one of those people. That's why you locked me in the fucking room. You used to be somebody. You take advantage that I have that for out style. So literally, that's why you always manipulate the fucking situation. Because every time he gave me emotional speech, he would pretend to laugh at himself. He would inhale for a little bit. He would always have a little act to go on when he gave me the emotional speech. And that let me know that it wasn't 100% true. It's like, we already established that I can beat you in a fight. Stop finding your way out and negotiate your way out. I'm like, no, there's no negotiating. You try to make me your prison bitch. I gave you every single reason not to let me low tier. I gave you every single reason to give me a girlfriend in high school. I gave you every single reason, yet you're still defiant, trying to say that it's out of context. Okay, Eris, we've established that you have moments, but we still established that we don't like you. It's the fact that you like me is why you're not letting me progress, and why you're obsessed with me in reality. And he knows that all the way. That's why he cut me off. He's like, don't get outside like you're uneducated, this and that. And he's saying very aggressively, do you know why? It's because that's the way you get killed in prison. The whole reason why we got in your head is specifically for you not to fight back, because you fought back fucking everywhere. That fits a big hole in our fucking plan. I use logic all the way up to this point. Now it's time for me to go back to my animal instincts. Now it's time for me to really react on my hormones and how things are not so done. Is because literally, no matter how much you try to sugarcoat it, you try to make me your prison bitch. There was no understanding the situation. There was no this not, oh, recognize that I'm stronger. No, I recognize that you're a little bitch, because if you were stronger, you wouldn't lock me in the room in the first place. That's what happens when you're older. When you actually figure out, but when you're young and junior high, and you see him being so multi-dimensional, multi-dimensionality can work against you. He was so multi-dimensional that he never had a straight path, and that's why he turned gay. It was you that needed to drive me to your side and say, yo, if you want to come out with somebody, you gotta make sure it's concrete, you gotta make sure it's that. It should have been him. I corrected him so many times, like, it's like, nigga, you didn't listen in high school. I told you not to smoke, you kept on smoking. And literally, nigga, you felt sorry for me because you can't stop smoking. That's why you smoke with me. If you really want me to stop smoking, you'd be knocking on every single friend's door and literally saying, yo, what the fuck you doing with my little brother? You'd be punking little kids so they'd be afraid to smoke with me. That's what a real brother does. And I told him that, and guess what? I told him that on the phone. I told him, like, you got a real brother. And guess what happened? He hung up the phone. So literally, my brother can literally do this, that. I can't argue with him ever. You can't argue with somebody like that. That somebody's gonna be in the down no matter what. He's gonna take advantage of the situation. He's gonna make sure other people are gonna validate him. If I tell him some shit like that at that mature level, my mom's and everybody else is around, he's gonna be like, see, that's why you don't listen. No, you're not listening. You're the one in denial. Do you know how scary it is on the outside dealing with somebody like that? Literally, I just hit him with everything I fucking got, and he ignored it like it was fucking nothing. But do you know why? It's because he is nothing. It's not the fact that he's hard. It's the fact that he's so in denial of who he is. He believes his own bullshit. But when somebody has a foundation on the side, if I didn't have fine-ass baby mamas, if I didn't have all these streets on paper, if I didn't have so many rappers getting me shot, so I didn't have this now, I probably would have paid attention who is calm, cool, collected. I'm like, no, you're just delusional. So when I step to his side, he's gonna take advantage of the fact that he's gonna be pampered, but he's not. I know the full story of the outside, and he's taking advantage of the fact that people are gonna agree with him. I'm like, okay, just because they agree with you doesn't mean it's a fact. You do realize thinking like that defeats the whole purpose of why you tried to get me to be so-called rational. My brother is so fucking crafty. When I beat his ass in a fucking fight, he had a tendency, he always tried to grab my dick, and he's like, well, Eris loves me too much. I'm the only person to watch anime with. Eris loves me too much. He's gotta have to let me do this, because if he hurts me again, it's gonna devastate him, and he understands that he's a little bitch. When I beat his ass, he can take an ass whooping. And you know why he takes it? Because that's how he keeps his reputation intact. Then you just got covered in blood. Doesn't matter what job you have, you just got humiliated by somebody who's 5 years younger than you. Imagine saying this to a girl: I got my ass beat by my little brother, but I have a job and he doesn't. That makes me better, doesn't it? He took advantage of the fact that I left him bloody, bumps and leaking. So when he touches my dick, he's like, okay, well, he wouldn't dare fight me again because he'd feel bad inside, because he almost killed me last time. I'm like, no, you started it. Imagine that top tier strategy. Literally taking advantage of the fact that I whooped your ass in a fight so I don't have to see blood again whenever you try to grab my dick. God put me in a position where other people will step in if he ever tries to do that shit again. And that's why it was funny. All this charisma, all this everything. If you go back to the video, he was very charismatic. They all felt fat because he wasn't responsible and he believed his own bullshit. All that educated shit didn't help him on the date. So you do realize you can't say that bitches ain't shit forever, because you're eventually gonna want family. You're eventually gonna want things. And you saying those things to me, you're adding all that karma, you still being in denial that I'm not so-called educated, where fucking Donald Trump became the president. Put two and two together, bro. Everything you're doing is an oxymoron. This is the truth reality of the situation. He's trying to talk about politics this, politics that. When you get older, you realize that it doesn't affect you personally. Then politics are full of shit. Politics are just TV. Politics are just entertainment when you get older. But when you're young, it's like, oh, we have to care about which president we have. Oh, we have to care about this and that. That's the reality of real life. Politics doesn't really affect the person. Name one time when you had to change your entire lifestyle because of politics. What did we have to change? In the past decade, what did, like, okay, fucking inflation, fucking a little bit more expensive. There's a fucking extra dollar on burritos. Big whoop. Inflation doesn't go up by that much. The $5 pizza is now $7. That's the reality of the situation. You guys are fucking idiots. What's the most change that literally the news has made to your fucking society? Oh, Corona. Oh, we're still doing the same shit. We just have to wear a mask. That's the truth about politics. That's the truth about the reality situation. But we get hyped up with this hip-hop propaganda. Oh, I'm not gonna wear a mask. This is corny ass shit. Oh, I'm not gonna do this now. Okay, so you can't go in the store then. It's that fucking simple. We live around people who care about more retarded shit than that. That's the only reason why it hits. Once you actually live life, you actually understand that it made no difference in your personal lifestyle. You gotta take politics as a joke. And you say that I should pay attention to that shit is pure laughter to me. And that's why he still gets so coochie. That's why he's still in the dial. That's why he's always this and that. And literally, that is the funniest shit. He is so fucking retarded, it's not even funny. Literally, I keep on telling him about custom anime. And he was all like, haha, who you doing in Japan? And I laughed so fucking hard inside. I'm like, do you realize that anime is damn near American now? I am so fucking surprised, literally, fucking My Hero Academia, fucking this and that. So fucking funny, literally. Thinking that specific shit is going to outweigh all the hard work I put in to as an entertainer. I'm so fucking sorry. Like, if you really think like that, you are the utmost retarded. A fucking troll can talk to Kishimoto nowadays. A fucking troll can talk to a router. It's called a forum buddy. You guys are so fucking retarded, it's not even funny. So he was a very bad influence. I told you to start playing sports. I told you to start doing this. Now, all his shit was hitting hard in junior high and high school. When I got out in the real world, nobody held that shit against me. If they did, they suffered. Now on to my Uncle Jiraiya. This is one of my favorite stories, backstories of my life. My brother was a big backstory, but it really fucking hurt. He knew a lot about anime, so basically when I was going through all that in school, and I was going through all that literally even after high school, a couple years after, really fucking, I'm like, I don't have no bitches and I have no friends. You know what my brother said? He's like, you still have me, and you still have Naruto. That's gonna last for a long time, huh? Neji died. The episode that Neji died, I was watching in front of my brother. So how literally long do I have to hold on to shit like that, where my favorite fucking character died in front of me and my brother's face, and I'm still supposed to hold on to his happiest cartoon over my personal life? I just want you to absorb that. Like, literally, you still have Naruto, literally, Dan Mosu speaks, and him backing up for his actions, and then all of a sudden Neji dies. Do you really want to hold on to that, or do you want to get your own life in check? And that was God's message to me at the time, that I needed to stop relying on my older brother. Stop relying on somebody that's always going to be there and actually make a name for yourself. I started seeing a whole lot of his personality in girls. I started seeing a whole lot in other shit, and that all translates to him being feminine. If I can get the same thing out of a girl, you have no right to be my older brother. The only thing that's more advanced with you is age. Everything else I have you outrated, down packed. You're the prime example of you didn't have enough drive to make it to the NBA, and you try to say that I didn't go out when I was younger, that I only have a cartoon addiction. And Lily, not everybody likes anime, and I've been prepared for all these years. Oh yeah, that's why. Where it truly came down to it, you're the nervous one. So on to Uncle Jiraiya. Uncle Jiraiya was really funny because literally he gave me something that not a lot of people give me. He was irreplaceable. Everybody was irreplaceable, you know? All the laughs, and literally, we used to always watch sitcoms. Him, me, and my grandma used to always like sit back and watch sitcoms. My uncle was very funny. He was the Bernie Mac in my household, and literally, but there came a time where I couldn't rely on him. You know, it was a beautiful thing. You know, we're up against a more spoiled generation. Imagine Lily being the most spoiled in your house, but being the least spoiled of your generation. Lily, I'm the only person in my generation that had to live without Wi-Fi for at least more than a month. So Lily, my uncle Lily, he knows that I wasn't truly trifling, but I was trifling on paper. So how did all this come about? What my uncle wanted me to be is my uncle wanted me to literally be an entertainer, but he wanted me to be an entertainer through his teachers, through his outlet. And, you know, there's a little bit of an Easter egg. My uncle used to be a security guard for celebrities, so he knows how it actually goes down. But there's another side to that story. My uncle has a bad reputation, a really bad reputation with those celebrities. So he can tell me some informal shit, but he didn't tell me the full story about how literally fucking how he used to always get in trouble as a security guard, literally trying too hard in front of the female ladies, the female dancers, literally. So my uncle is literally that drunken uncle that literally has no games, but spent all the games to the little kids. Like, he does have a lot of gaming. He uses advanced techniques. He makes Bernie Mac jokes for people who don't know who he really is. So does that take away from the good time I have? No. Even though the reality of the situation is literally fucking he's a shitty person, he's this and that. Okay, so what does that have to do with the good time he gave me? That's how I view life. I don't hold grudges against people. That's where I stand when it comes to the versatile. My brother always gave me something there, but he was never really responsible. So if you know that scene where literally Jiraiya gets down to a popsicle, that is the meme between me and my uncle relationship. My uncle was always telling me, backing, pipping holes and slamming doors. And we just got always influencing me to be a back. Like, go out there, man. Oh, do you want two of them? This and that. And literally, my uncle was literally all that, because he was really the power example. He was the strongest father figure I had until I realized that he was just a crazy uncle. He had a very sad backstory. What happened is he tried a whole lot of time to get friends, get ruined. He used to be a drug addict. People used to test drugs out on him. He used to be the mark. He used to be this and that. But after all his friends died out, he became chess champion when he had the truest competition. But when they died, when he got the most praise, my uncle was known as a top class felon, literally going to the military for a whole bunch of different names, literally fucking this and that, but literally fucking he was actually ranked Jiraiya in this world in terms of popularity and everything. My uncle was the Jiraiya of this world, so it's pretty funny. Literally, he used to like be a security guard for Akon, this and that. He used to do everything, but you know, there's a whole lot of backstories that come with being a security guard. That means it wasn't all great. And my uncle really used to get played by people, so literally, whenever he gives me a blue popsicle, that means this message. He's like, you know why I may be strong? Because my uncle used to be really ripped. He used to bench 300. And so like, there's a big lesson that comes out when he's very nice to me, because I'm not trying to be in the streets at all. I'm literally, the hardest thing I'm trying to get, you know, the most detrimental thing I'm trying to get is pussy. So literally, he was like that all the way. So his whole time was to show you, I used to be just like you when I was younger. Do you know why I'm so nice to you? Even though I make jokes, even though I call you a piece of shit, it's because I worked this hard. I worked out so much because I literally did a whole bunch of wrong when I was trying to do right. So that is the biggest lesson behind Uncle Jiraiya's philosophy, because he used to be a wrong does that, and he's not scared to admit that's how he raised me. He raised me saying that, yo, stay away from these people, because I used to fall for shit just like you. Like, they catch you in a situation, they're like, hey, hold this. Literally, if my uncle used to always make fun of me, literally, I would make the stupidest excuses. I would walk outside, literally, he's like, I told you, you're taking a crash. I'm like, yeah, but I was running away from gunshots, and he knew that I was a fucking lie. He's like, oh, this gets better and better, and that shit was hilarious. So, the real fucked up part, this is the exclusive Jiraiya lesson that you have to learn about real life. What happened was this, so he piped the wrong girl, so my uncle finally like learned game at a later age. So when he learned game, it was at the time where you already fucked up with something. So what happened is literally, so fucking he birth to my cousin's mom, my cousin Jonathan's mother, who literally fucking, so he had a kid that came out partially retarded, but he was like, oh, that ain't shit, because literally, so my uncle took that and he made sure that Jonathan passed every single spelling bee test, and he's like, okay, so Jonathan's diagnosis and that, but when he gets on it, when he studies, he's literally the best student, so literally, it's nothing wrong with my son, literally. He's just arrogant, this, that, but literally, my cousin Jonathan has a deeper message. When you get older, it seems like him just being arrogant, him not trying to improve himself, but he knows that we live in a world full of gang territory. And he's like, man, I don't want to go out there because I don't ever want to fuck. I don't ever want to do this and that. I'll be content playing my video games all day. You know what? That's his message to him. Is like, I don't want to go out there, not because I'm immature, but because I don't want to get the bullshit drama that people put me in. So I'll pretend to have a disability. I'm going to stay in my own apartment. I'm going to take advantage of the government. I'm going to do this and that. And literally, I'm going to get my own shit that's handed to me because I know people are full of shit and I realize that they're not worth fighting over. That's literally the truth behind my cousin Jonathan. He's a fucking genius, but literally he actually already listens. He listens to gangster rap and plays video games today, not because he's scared of the outside world, because he knows it's full of shit. So that's why he's diagnosed retarded, but that's why he's actually a genius in real life. My uncle tried to push him to get better things, and my cousin Jonathan just did not want to. My uncle suffered literally. I'm one of the most street smart people out there. I come from the older generation. I come from this and that. How my son come out half retarded, this and that, literally fucking. So what happened was he fucked up with literally Jonathan. Jonathan never liked him because my uncle was enforceful, because he comes from the military. He likes to enforce things. He likes to enforce a clean room. He likes to enforce this and that, and that was a fucking problem. And like, Jonathan's hella fucking chill. He's like, man, I don't even fucking like you. Why the fuck would I do shit for you? That's a real fucking thing to say, but it's not where it comes to lessons on paper. So he noticed I had similar disabilities. So what happened is, after my dad left, he tried to make me his son after my dad left. And he forgot that I already came from somebody else, dude. And so he always used to make fun of my dad. He used to always do this, that, like, your dad's one of them niggas from the rest of ours. You know, them little flies that be fucking in the air. That's your dad, this and that. He used to always compare my dad to Flavor Flav. It used to be hella fucking funny. But at the end of the day, I only believed him because I saw the outside world. I saw my dad with multiple women. I saw him with this and that. But there's a deeper story behind that. My dad is a Dragon Ball Z extraordinaire. How the fuck do you ever expect me to choose you over him? It's literally the reality of fucking situation. That example explains everything. And so people can try to break it down. People can try to say, well, it's because he still watches cartoons is why you turned out the way you did. That's why you turned out with a disability. That's why you turned out this, that. That's why he's irresponsible. It's because he's willing to watch cartoons and you this, that. When in actuality, he's real as fuck. You see all those complex things, how you can break down a situation? Well, front facing, what you see is what you get. In actuality, the true reason why it's more powerful is because he always is able to say what's up, instead of some people who don't even know that that exists. That's the reality of the situation. You keep on coming at me at the angles, oh, he's with this woman, he's with that woman, and stuff like that. Yeah, but what did that have to do with me? He always says what's up to me. He always keeps things positive when he's around. That's the most important part. That's how truly complex it is. That's why my uncle partially has a condition. Very partially. You can still live a normal life when you have a condition. That's no brainer, but literally, that's the reason why he's one-dimensional. And that's why my brother can think all those political things. That's why my brother can get, but in terms of morals, my brother's morals can never outweigh Jiraiya's morals. I'm sorry. Because my uncle Jiraiya did something about it. He gave me a competitive mindset. He's like, this is what you have to do. My brother never drove me to the side and say, yo, I want you to do this at least 10 times. I want you to make sure you master this where it got that, where it came to talking shit, where it came to going through shit in school. That's what my brother should do. Like, I want you to test. I want you, yo, Eris, you don't need to go out to the mall and go back to some chicks. I want you to do this every day until you master it. That's what our older brother should do. Instead of letting it ask, like, I told you not to do what you're younger, Lily. It doesn't take that much time. You're wasting time literally trying to make an excuse instead of actually doing it. They funk all the time. Don't listen to Sonny. Don't listen to Jiraiya. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm the one who actually watches anime with you. I'm the one who actually this and that. But you don't do shit for him as a person. And then you yell at him and you call him retarded or he makes mistakes. But you're not even willing to teach him. My uncle was not shy to admit that he was a mark when he was younger. And that's what made it impactful as a person. So if you kind of ask like who was the better influence, of course it was Jiraiya. But it faded out over time because we're dealing with a new generation. My uncle comes from Chicago and I live in the Bay Area. You know the reason why I'm so strong and why I'm so nice is because I went through a whole bunch of evil shit when I was trying to be nice. And that's the story today. But the same thing happened with me. But once you get there, you have to recognize that people have their own lives. That's a beautiful example. That's a real fucking gangster. My uncle was actually going out there being a gangster. My brother pretends to be a gangster, which is why my uncle always fucking wins at life. Because even though he went too far, even though he went overboard, he had a good intention, but he went about it in a way of a mental condition. So it doesn't fucking matter. He still did more for me. My brother taught me a whole lot about life. He taught me about this and that, but he was never there for the real shit. He was there as a fucking pillow. It's okay, buddy. You know what that bred to? You know my brother always being able to watch anime, but always never letting me develop. You know what that came down to? Literally, it got down to a part where literally fucking people were clowning on me. Fucking junior high, fucking Ben and shit. You're a fucking nerd for watching anime, Eris. And literally, I'm like, oh yeah? Well, my brother watches anime. Oh, people clowned me instantly. He's like, oh, do you guys hold hands when you watch it too? And it got down to a real point. So this is a tragic story behind Jiraiya, why he lives a full adult, and really why my brother talks out of his ass, because he doesn't have ambition. My uncle had nothing but ambition to be just like the popular kids who he looked up to, and then he realized that it wasn't worth it. And then even when he found somebody who liked him for who he was, this is the most tragic story about Jiraiya's backstory. So basically my uncle was like this, before he had Jonathan. I think after he had Jonathan, he had to break up with his mom, because Jonathan's mom is the reason why Jonathan had a mental condition. And literally fucking, my uncle was desperate to get laid, but he still stuck with Jonathan's mom and this and that. So literally what happened was so he actually ended up with a very nice girl who liked him for who he was. He ended up with a girl, I think her name was Kelsey, and literally fucking, it was a very nice who he hooked up with. So literally, he got with Kelsey after he got his new good paying job. After literally fucking Jonathan was born, he was doing good, and he literally started dating Kelsey. So he literally, it was like that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. Do you know Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond? Literally, my uncle was in the same position as Robert. Literally fucking, he was literally doing everything. So this girl is kind of like Amy. If you don't know about that season, is literally, so if you go watch Everybody Loves Raymond, you know where Robert gets at Amy. So Robert and Amy have all this shit panned out, but they don't pan out, but it's for a different reason. So literally what happens is this, so literally fucking, that girl's in the same position as Amy, and he literally hooked up with the nicest girl. So what happened when he finally got a girl that liked him for who he was, he had to run to Jonathan's mother. His Jonathan's mother messed it up. Jonathan's mother literally punched a hole in my Uncle Jay's tire. And literally, she was obsessed with him. So when he finally did find a good one, he couldn't keep out to it because of the mistakes he made in the past. He had the best opportunity. It was a very nice girl. He even told me the whole story when I was younger, that he could have had a good, great, functional family, but because he fucked up when he was younger, it followed him. And that's what happens when you have karma. That's what happens when you have this and that. And literally fucking, it tortured him, but at the same time, at least he tried to do right. At least he literally tried. But at the same time, literally, it got out of hand, That doesn't take away the fact that he actually drove me to the side and actually tried to teach me how to be a real entertainer. There was a time when I was the best at dominoes at Big Mama's house, and then I tried playing my Uncle Jay. My Uncle Jay scraped me with 5 questions. That's why he was the master and I was a student at the time. Literally, I thought I was the best at dominoes at Big Mama's house, but I came through because he's known for chess, but he still schooled me in dominoes. And so literally, I played him with dominoes, and he starts dominating me like, man, you're just giving me money. But where it came down to that, literally fucking, my brother literally, he didn't understand, like, I took too many losses, and that's why I gained so much. And literally, I taught myself, and literally, it was because I had the drive and determination. I saw past those losses. I looked at logic. I'm like, I'm playing the computer at the highest difficulty. And literally, I understood, like, I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I want everything to be hard on me first thing so I can adapt. And that's exactly what happened. I trained with the best, survival of the fittest ever since I was young. So with that, the victory when it comes to a bad influence in my life, even though he has a tragic backstory, he didn't ignore everything like it was going to be hunky-dory. He didn't believe in a Disney fantasy that literally fucking, that I can't ignore, that people are making fun of me and my brother saying that we have a homosexual relationship. He tried to do something about it. What he was, my uncle when I was younger, he's like, man, I don't want you to get into a normal high school. Since you're in special ed, I want you to go to an all-Asian high school. So he tried to make me go to Mission San Jose. And literally fucking, in reality, that's a retarded idea because the world is still racist. And literally, if I can't even make it out of normal high school, what makes you think I'm going to make it out of all-Asian school? But on the outside, it's like, oh, you're already like anime. Oh, this and that. He's trying to, you're the best chance to win, literally this and that. But like, that's the problem with my Uncle Jiraiya's philosophy. It's an oxymoron, but he doesn't realize that because he's not that educated, because he grew up on the farm and this and that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he tried way harder than my brother to actually be a good influence. So the victory goes to my Uncle Jiraiya. I was going to give it, when I was younger, I was definitely going to give it to my older brother Itachi because I spent way more time with him. I had way more a lot of laughs with him, but where it came to responsibility, it felt completely flat. And I don't need somebody like that in my life. I realized the difficulties of people who are funny, and most people are funny because they're full of shit, and they have all day to make those fucking jokes. And that's what happened. A teacher doesn't dedicate himself his whole entire life to making jokes and fucking around. That's why a student may be able to cap him in terms of talking shit, but who has a job, who has the better career, who has a wife to bang when he comes home? The teacher. And who ends up becoming a prison bitch, and who ends up literally suffering from irresponsibility his whole life? The little kid who thought he could call out a teacher.